teams, Lauren here with Bizrok. In this week's video, I want to talk to you about the impact of tone, specifically when it comes to either a written format or a spoken format. And I'm going to reference one of our favorite tools that we teach you guys with regards to internal communication, and that is the FBI method of communication. So let's pull back for a second. When it comes to a written form, guys, tone can totally be misunderstood in an email and a text message. So you want to make sure that before you send something out, you reread it and say, what's the tone? First of all, what's my goal of the tone in this email or text message? And two, do the words on this page actually match my goal of the tone that the receiver is getting? So you want to be very careful that you slow down, you reread, and make sure that the intended tone goes directly to the receiver, okay? Spoken is just as important, right? But in spoken format, you can read somebody's body language, you could read their facial expressions, and you can adjust your tone there. Written, it's already sent into the atmosphere, right? So it makes it really hard. I will tell you, I'm not personally a huge fan of emojis. I'll be honest with you guys. I think they're super tacky. However, an emoji is such a powerful thing when it comes to a text message communication because people can see the smiley face. It's a visual cue for them to actually pick up and read on it, right? Versus sending just words over. So thinking about emojis will really help you whenever you're sending out text message communications. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be doing that with patient communication, but it's a great way for internal communication to make sure that the receiver is receiving the exact tone that you're trying to share with them. For those of you that have gone through communication and language training with us before, you guys know that we love tools. I don't believe in teaching teams scripts. I would rather guide you on the best tools to use so that you can pull straight from your tool chest at the drop of a hat and overcome any objection or overcome any conversation with somebody. So one of my favorite tools is the FBI method of communication. The F stands for feelings. The B stands for behavior, and the I stands for impact. And so whenever you walk through that formula, it allows you to have more constructive conversations and also provide more powerful, meaningful feedback to a person. So let's start with the negative, critical example first. So let's say, a team member continues to rush out at the end of the day, leaving behind all of their end of day job duties. Maybe they're a clinician, and so they're not double checking to make sure other people are taken care of. They're not ever flipping their room, or maybe they're flipping their room. They're just not handling their trap at the end of the week or handling the floors very well. And my goodness, they're certainly not helping to take out the trash. Those things add up, right? And it's one thing for somebody to rush out the door one time and say, hey team, do you got my back? It's another thing for somebody to do that every single day, right? And so instead of going to that team member, and guys, you know me, I'm going to use the name Susie. Instead of going to Susie and getting frustrated at her and saying, Susie, like you need to make sure that you're doing your end of day checklist. Like I'm tired of having to do your work. Guys, are you really going to have a very productive conversation with Susie? One, she's probably going to be offended. Two, she's probably going to give you an attitude. And the reality is, we attacked her, the person, instead of the issue, which was her flipping her room, her cleaning her room and doing the end of day checklist. And we're not creating a new behavior because the reality is she might begrudgingly actually do some of those things the next day, maybe even the next couple of days. But are you going to create a good, new, healthy habit? Chances are pretty high that you're not. And so you want to create a sustainable change. So instead, I would plug the conversation into an FBI. One, I would say, what do I feel about the situation? What's the behavior I need Susie to change? And how is it impacting either me, her, the organization, patients, whatever it is, okay? So again, the first example, I'm attacking Susie, the person, which is not a great form of communication. The second form is the FBI. So I might say, Susie, I'm feeling really frustrated that you're unable to complete your end of day checklist. I don't know if you know this or not, but whenever you're not able to help, the rest of the clinical team is left having to pick up every single thing, and that prevents them getting home in time to their families. Now, a great leader will ask a question. What can we do to better support you so that you can start working on your end of day checklist before you're rushing out the door every single day? See, now we can actually have an adult conversation and we can actually talk through some potential solutions. But now Susie, understands the impact that it's having on the entire organization. Now, if she doesn't, that might be a new conversation and a different topic, and that might even be a team development guide to go ahead and create some sort of development guide for that person to grow. But the goal is that that person is like, wow, I didn't realize me leaving like a trash bag or two and not handling my floors was such a big deal. But guys, that stuff adds up, right? Especially whenever it comes to that person leaving every single day. And so that's always their opportunity that somebody else has to pick up. Every single day over a period of time creates resentment and bitterness. And guys, that's not great for internal communication, certainly not culture. And so you want to nip it in the bud. And the best way to do that is to plug it through an FBI. Now, the positive of an FBI is to give somebody more meaningful, lasting feedback. So oftentimes from a leadership standpoint, we're so quick, we're running through our day and we want to just give somebody generic praise. And so I might say, hey, Susie, high five, thanks for being so awesome today. But guys, couldn't you give any team member that exact same feedback, that exact same affirmation? Is it meaningful? Is it going to sit with her? Now, even if that person's high words of affirmation, she's probably going to forget about it the second she gets in her car, right? At least the next business day, she's moved on. And so you want to provide meaningful, authentic feedback. So if I'm the leader and I noticed that Susie saw a patient struggling as they were walking out the door, plus it was raining outside, but she went to the back, she grabbed her own personal umbrella and walked outside to escort that patient to their car. Guys, that is exceptional. That is above and beyond. And so instead of saying, hey, Susie, high five, thanks so much for taking care of that patient, which again was kind, but not genuinely authentic where it would stick with Susie for a long period of time. The next day in morning huddle, I might say, hey, Susie, I'd love to just give you a quick shout out. I feel so grateful that I got to witness you taking Mrs. Jones to her car. I don't know if you guys know this, but it was pouring down rain and Susie stopped her day, went and grabbed an umbrella just to walk that patient to her car. Like, Susie, that was huge. First of all, you probably made that entire woman's day because she didn't get soaking wet when she was walking outside, but it also impacted my day and showed me I probably need to even step up my own game. So thank you so much for being awesome. How do you think Susie's going to feel when she gets that type of feedback versus, hey girl, high five, like great job today? Guys, you want to provide meaningful, impactful feedback so your team members continue to grow and implement the things that they're doing really well. Now, team members, you don't have to be a leader to give somebody an FBI, especially when it comes to a positive affirmation or positive feedback. You should all be cheerleading each other every single day, especially when somebody is exceptional. So reach out to us, role play this in your practice. I would inspire you guys. Part of your morning huddle team wins or shout outs from the day prior, try to do it through an FBI. Try to give somebody specific feedback. I believe that you should be praising in public and criticizing in private. So you don't want to give a negative feedback out in public for everybody to hear. That should be behind closed doors. But great, meaningful feedback shared every single day as you start your day, guys, will absolutely transform your culture. So if you need anything, if you need help, reach out to us. Otherwise, we can't wait to see you and serve you soon.